There's something about you that this person sees, something you might not even realize. They observe you from a distance, perhaps even keeping a certain space between you, and you don't even know that you're influencing their inner world in such a profound way. They hold intense feelings, but these feelings remain unspoken. They feel deeply, yet they haven't found the right words to express themselves. They didn't reveal themselves to you now, but don't think that diminishes the impact you've had. Somehow, something about you touched a deep part of them, and you still haven't realized it. Today you're going to discover how this happened, how you touched a heart without even knowing it. You've always viewed yourself very objectively, perhaps even pragmatically, but there's a silent game at play that you're engaging in with them. A game of presence and absence, of glances and silences, of words spoken and unspoken. Sometimes it's in the silence that the most powerful words resonate, and that's exactly what you did. You didn't use words or grand gestures, but something in you was more than enough to reach a place within them that perhaps no one has touched before. Your energy, your posture, your gaze, or even your absence in moments of intensity, all of this created something in a space they never imagined existed. Yet still you stirred something inside them, without even knowing it. He who is usually so introspective, almost invisible, felt a connection with you that he can't explain. Make no mistake, he notices. He observes you with an attention you can't even imagine. He seeks to find something in you that resonates within his own solitude, his own fears, and in a way he feels that you could understand what he has never been able to share. He even tries to rationalize it, but there's something mysterious about the way you present yourself, something that overflows with confidence or perhaps vulnerability. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but he feels it. He notices the way you face the world, and he sees himself reflected in you in a way that only he can understand. With every step you take, even if you don't realize it, you leave a mark. You are more than you seem. Perhaps you, like him, are someone who holds back, but within you, just as in him, there exists a space of profound sensitivity. And, when you least expect it, that space resonates in the simplest things. A glance, a word, a posture. Something that subtly transforms the atmosphere around him and creates an almost palpable energy between you two. It's not about what you say, it's about what you convey without knowing. It's not about what you do, it's about what he feels when he watches you. Did you know that often the biggest emotional transformations come from the small things? And you, unknowingly, may have taken a step that transformed his day, his week, his life in a way he's still trying to understand. He felt it, but didn't dare to say anything. Perhaps his shyness is the reason for his silence. Maybe it's the fear of not being recognized, of not being reciprocated. Sometimes the loneliness of shy people is so profound that they convince themselves that others would never understand what's going on inside them. But you, in some way, made him believe that perhaps there is someone, somewhere, who understands him. Maybe that realization isn't immediate, but who knows, it might come soon. I invite you to pause and think for a moment. Have you noticed the transformation you're causing in the people around you? Even if you feel like you're just existing, your presence has already done more than many words could achieve. I know you might be thinking, but I never said anything. I never did anything special. You may even think you've become invisible to the world, but to him you were everything. Don't underestimate the power of your quiet actions. When you express yourself genuinely, without forcing it or seeking attention, that's when true impact occurs. He noticed, he saw, he was touched. That touch wasn't physical, it was emotional. He reached something he may have trouble naming, but now something inside him is already changing. Something within him will emerge, sooner or later. He just needs the courage to reveal himself. Until then, he will keep his distance, still searching for answers. Your presence was what he needed, to take a step he never allowed himself to take before. Yes, you touched his heart, and perhaps you don't even realize it. What you did was much deeper than you imagine. Even without words, you brought forth feelings he had kept well hidden. He may have never allowed himself to show that part of himself to the world, but you ignited a flame inside him, and in doing so, you placed him in front of a choice, the choice to open his heart, to take a step toward what he fears most, vulnerability. He is waiting for the right moment to open up, waiting for the moment when he will feel safe enough to take that step. And that moment might arrive unexpectedly. Perhaps a small gesture from you, a word you didn't even think about, will prompt him to decide to act. Or maybe he needs more time. The fact is that you have touched a part of him that is still on a journey of discovery. The pain he feels from not being able to express himself is still there, but you made it exist. It's not about him rushing to tell you what he feels. It's not about immediate action, but it's about the quiet impact you made. This impact will resonate longer than you imagine. Have you noticed how much you can transform someone with your simple presence? Your energy, your actions, your glances. Every little gesture is a wave that ripples through the hearts of others. Each of us, when genuinely touched, carries a silent yet real internal change. Have you stopped to reflect on what this means for you? Can you see the real impact you have on people, even without intending to, even without noticing? Maybe it's time to realize that your presence is more powerful than any spoken word. And who knows, one day, that shy person will find the courage to reveal themselves. When that happens, you'll look at him and realize that the connection that began so quietly has transformed into something deep, something you never imagined would happen. What more will he need to take that step? Will he need your silence, or maybe a simple look that encourages him to be more himself? Perhaps he is just waiting for a sign, and maybe that sign is exactly what you represent. He will realize it, and when he does, something inside him will change forever. Now tell me, what have you realized about all this so far? Have you ever realized the power you hold even when you're just being yourself? When you act without the expectation of changing someone's life, but your own energy is enough to awaken something deep, something that had previously been hidden in another person's soul. Did you know that your presence, effortlessly, can be the key that opens the doors to emotional transformation? That person who watches you from afar is, in some way, being touched in a way they can't even imagine. It's not about a grand event or a conscious action on your part. It's the way you present yourself to the world, how you deal with your own uncertainties, with your own fears. All of this resonates silently yet immeasurably. They feel, even without fully understanding, that there's something more in you than what's on the surface. Perhaps it took them a while to notice, but now that they have begun to see, they are aware of what's happening within themselves. A quiet awakening, an unease that grows as they observe you. They start to ask themselves what you represent, what you bring that no one else does. And the answer goes beyond words, beyond what you do. The answer lies in who you are, in your authenticity, in your energy. There's something magical about how you present yourself to the world, something that, often, you might not see. You might look at yourself and fail to recognize the greatness of the energy you emit, but they see it. They see in you the courage they wish they had, the security they need to feel, the safe space where they might one day allow themselves to be themselves. He watches you and feels that there's an unspoken connection, something that floats between you, yet he can't quite explain it. It's not about words, it never was. It's about something that transcends verbal communication, something that goes beyond what is visible to the eyes of those who choose not to see the invisible. And when he finally allows himself to perceive this, he starts to question, are you waiting for him? Are you on some level waiting for him to muster the courage to reveal himself? He doesn't know, but he feels that something is about to happen. And maybe, just maybe, he's waiting for the right moment, the moment that only he can create, when he feels that he's finally ready. Have you ever realized how many times your presence has been a shelter for others, even without intending it? How many times have you been the reflection of something someone else needed to see in order to understand themselves? Your light, no matter how modest, is enough to help someone see what they never had the courage to look at before. Even without words, you gradually build a space of warmth. What you convey without realizing it is the assurance that there's someone willing to listen, willing to see. He feels that, and that is more powerful than any gesture or declaration you could give. The truth is that by touching his heart, you didn't just make a simple gesture. You opened a portal he will have to cross sooner or later. He will have to decide what to do with what you have awakened in him. He has no control over this. The impact is made, the change has begun, but the timing for him to reveal himself is still a mystery. You don't know when it will be, but know that when it happens, it will be a unique moment, and it will be the result of a silent journey, of fleeting glances and unspoken words. What if he never reveals himself? What if he never takes the step to open up completely? Will his presence have been enough? I tell you, yes. Even if he doesn't take that action, your energy has already done more than he ever imagined. Your mere presence has initiated an internal transformation that he will carry with him, even if silently. There is no loss in this process. The impact you've made on him is deep and everlasting. Your presence does not fade. Even if he never speaks about what he feels, all of this will stay with him, somewhere deep within his soul. Do you notice the subtleness of this truth? What you represent goes beyond what is immediately visible. Your actions, even unconsciously, are seeds that will germinate in ways you can't even imagine. And somehow he will remember you, not through words or grand gestures, but by the energy you emitted, by the silence that made his heart race, by the way you, without knowing it, became a reflection of everything he felt, but didn't yet know how to name. Have you ever stopped to think that perhaps you are exactly what he needs to break free? Maybe your presence is the key to what he desires most, a safe space to be vulnerable. Perhaps it's your gaze that he has been searching for all this time, not realizing that this gaze, this acceptance, is exactly what he needs to trust the world, to trust himself. Maybe at this moment, he's just waiting for the nudge that you have already given him, silently, not in words, not in grand gestures, but by being who you are, and that is enough. So I ask you again, have you noticed the impact you've made? Have you realized that without doing anything grand, you've touched someone's heart so deeply that they can't even fully understand it? They are still processing everything you've stirred within them. They're still trying to comprehend the emotional reaction they feel upon seeing you. Yet, in a quiet way, they recognize what you represent. And this realization is going to change everything for them. When they're ready, they will reveal themselves to you. And when that happens, you will be the first to know, not through words, but through gestures, through a look, through a small change in behavior, something subtle but profound. What more will you notice when this truth fully reveals itself, when they finally understand what you've done for them and have the courage to open up to you? Will you be prepared to handle it? Or will the surprise be as overwhelming as the feeling of not having realized any of this until now? This is a journey that is just beginning, and like all great revelations, it will bring much more to come. There is something even deeper that you need to realize. The journey you started, unknowingly touching their heart, is just a part of something much bigger. The impact you've made on them is not momentary, it's not superficial. They will carry this with them for longer than you can imagine. When the internal change begins to happen, it resonates in every part of their life. The doubts, the fears, the insecurities, everything they've held inside starts to gain a new perspective because of you. Because you touched something within them that they didn't even know existed. Now he finds himself in a place of reflection, trying to understand why something about you attracts him in such an inexplicable way. He has never allowed himself to look so clearly at himself until you appeared, with your quiet and genuine presence. He doesn't yet know what to do with this feeling, but he senses that he can't ignore it for much longer. Something inside him is being awakened, something he has left dormant for too long, perhaps out of fear of taking risks or showing vulnerability. And you, unknowingly, have been the catalyst for this change. The way you exist in the world, the way you carry yourself, has the power to transform someone's life in a profound way. And maybe the real magic isn't about him having the courage to reveal himself now. Maybe the true magic lies in the fact that you, by doing nothing, have already done enough to awaken within him a new perception of himself, a perception that will lead him on a path of self-discovery. And even though he hasn't taken action yet, his life is already different after meeting you. He will feel this. He will recognize this. If this resonated with you, the next video will resonate even more. Click here and continue with me.